Good evening. My name is Claire Bennett. I'm 20 years old. And just being able to stand here, say my name out loud, look into this audience, and breathe without shaking is something I never thought I'd be strong enough to do. Because when I was 13, I watched my parents, both of them, be murdered right in front of me. It wasn't a faraway headline. It wasn't someone else's tragedy. It was mine. And it happened on a night that started out like any other. We were having dinner. My mom was laughing. My dad was teasing me about how much salt I put on everything. We were just living. And then the door opened, and life ended. The details don't matter. What matters is I saw it, all of it, and there was nothing I could do. There's a kind of silence that comes after a scream. It's not peaceful. It's heavy, deafening, and it follows you to school, to sleep, even in your dreams. After that night, I stopped speaking. I didn't cry at the funeral. I didn't say goodbye, because I didn't believe anything good would ever come out of my mouth again. They tried to help me. Therapists, foster homes, kind voices. But how do you explain to someone that your whole world was taken in one breath and all that's left is you? I survived, somehow, but surviving and living are not the same thing. And for a long time, I wasn't living. I was just breathing. But there's something I've never let go of. Something small, something quiet, but powerful. It's my mother's voice. She used to sing, not for the world, but for me. She sang in the kitchen while stirring a pot of soup, in the car when traffic stressed her out, and always when she tucked me in at night. She didn't have a perfect voice, but it was warm, like soft light coming through a window, like home. There was one song, just one. She never sang all the words, only the same soft melody. It was like our little secret. I never even asked what the song was called, because when you're a kid, you think things will last forever. You don't think something as simple as a voice could be the last thing you ever hear from someone you love. The night before, she hummed it, kissed my forehead, told me she loved me, and walked out of the room. That was the last time I heard her voice. And for years, I couldn't even think of that melody without falling apart. I blocked it out because it hurt too much to remember something so beautiful connected to something so tragic. But lately, something has changed. I don't want to forget anymore. I don't want fear to own the only good thing I have left of her. That melody, it was love. It was peace. And even though my voice may not sound like hers, tonight I'm here to speak it back into the world, to let her know I remember, and that even though I'm still healing, I haven't let go of her. Not through the pain, not through the silence, not through the years. This moment is for her, and for the little girl I used to be who needed to know that her voice still matters. There was a time I thought I would never speak again, that the sound of my own voice would always feel like an echo in a room I no longer belonged in. But something changes when pain has nowhere left to hide. Eventually, it demands to be heard. And tonight, I'm not here to sing. I'm not even sure I could. But I want to tell you something I've never said out loud before. I was angry for a long time, not just at the world, but at myself for surviving. I kept thinking, why me? Why am I still here when the people I loved the most aren't? And the guilt, it grew louder than the grief. I punished myself in silence, thinking if I didn't speak, maybe the pain would stay locked inside. But it didn't. It spilled into everything, into relationships I couldn't hold, into nights I couldn't sleep, into mirrors I couldn't look into. But over the last year, something shifted. I stopped asking, why me? And I started asking, what now? Because I realized I can't rewrite the past. I can't bring them back, but I can bring their memory forward. I can choose to step into the light, even if my knees shake, even if my voice cracks, even if I cry in front of the world. Because if there's one thing my mom taught me, it's that the quietest voices often carry the deepest truths. And tonight, this is me, finally telling mine. The stage is quiet, not just silent, still. And in that stillness, I feel something I haven't felt in a long time. Peace. I look out and I see eyes, not staring, but understanding. People who don't know my name, but somehow they feel what I've carried. A judge wipes away a tear. Another leans forward, hand over heart, lips pressed tight, as if words wouldn't do justice to what just happened. No music played, no performance, just truth. And sometimes that's enough. Someone in the front row stands, then another, and another. I didn't get a golden buzzer, but I didn't need one. Because tonight, I didn't just tell my story, I freed it. I gave pain a voice. I gave grief a name. And I gave that little girl inside me a chance to breathe again. As I walk off stage, I don't feel like the broken girl who came here to survive. I feel like the woman who stood here and chose to speak. And maybe, just maybe, someone else out there who's hurting heard something in my words and realized they're not alone either. As I step off the stage, I don't hear applause anymore. I hear silence again, but this time it's different. It's not the silence of loss or fear or that night I try so hard to forget. It's the kind of silence that comes after release, after truth, after finally saying something you were never sure you could say. For so long, I thought pain had the final word, but tonight, I took it back. I told my story, not for sympathy, not for attention, but because someone out there might be carrying something they haven't spoken, something buried, heavy, silent. And if hearing my voice helps them find theirs, then everything I've lived through means something more. My name is Claire Bennett. I'm 20 years old, and after 7 years of silence, I finally came home to my voice.